ended. So, of course, we want to kind of wrap up what we just heard. Multiple fatalities. That's the big piece of information we just learned from law enforcement there. They are going car to car, home to home, making sure that no one else is inside those homes nearby. Still a dangerous scene. Smoke from a stubborn car still there, but the bulk of the fire is out.
They believe the fatalities were limited to just the crash site, the people that were on board that airplane. We know that it was registered out of the Midwest, according to the assistant fire chief. The plane holds 8 to 10 people, but they do not know how many were on it. They are investigating that as we speak right now. The good news is no one was taken to the hospital out of that neighborhood after that crash happened, which is great to hear, because the debris field and all of the devastation and destruction that we have seen from this plane crash has been horrific to see. You saw the mayor there, the chief of police there, their heartfelt condolences going out to everyone that's impacted. We had a military member there also saying they're going to stand by with these military members, take care of them. Also, Chief Scott Wall saying 100 people have been displaced because of this. They've all been evacuated to Miller Elementary School. He said, quote, "It's horrific to see."
Right. We do have Chris Groh there on the scene as well, joining us here to bring us more updates. Chris, we heard from the fire chief. They said 10 homes damaged, but cars on both sides of the street just completely charred from the fire. And you saw a video from moments after this happened, Chris.
We did. I mean, it's really hard to put everything into a timeline because of just how chaotic everything is. So let's just start with what we are seeing right here from our vantage point, where this presser just wrapped up. I want to bring in some key points here. We just went over what happened with the press conference, but let's show you what's happening right now. You see some of these fire trucks leaving. I want to point something out here pretty key. You see these blue bins right here. You see the firefighters that are hovering over them right now. We've seen a number of firefighters that have gone ahead and put in their gear, whether it's what they're wearing, the hoses they used to try to make sure that hazmat, so that's all going to be considered contaminated, that they're going to make sure that all gets collected. And then there appears to be at least an FAA investigator just beyond the scene here that might have just walked by our camera. So we do know that at least an FAA investigator is here on scene. And then, of course, some key takeaways, as Ned and Eric already pointed out, but I think should be echoed again. They do believe that any casualties, which they have not given us that number yet, that any casualties are limited to those were on the plane. So pilot and potentially any passengers. We're waiting for them to get notified by the FAA about what that number could be. They do not believe that anybody survived that plane crash. So let's show you that video that we've been talking about, because this is, again, just puts into context how chaotic this has all been. This is Ring doorbell camera. So the way that this works, right, is that any type of motion or anything big that happens, that Ring doorbell turns on, starts recording. So when that plane crashed, when it flew by here, when those explosions happened, that's when that Ring doorbell started rolling. That's where our video begins. And then you see that resident for that Ring doorbell camera, that owner there, come outside, grab a small garden hose, just trying to do he could to try to mitigate any type of burns. In fact, you already heard that most of the fire has been put out, but there's that one car, that one stubborn car fire that will not go out, in large part because, again, what we're talking about as an accelerant here, jet fuel, that is going to burn. That is the main hazard that is here. We've spoken with a number of residents that have been evacuated. Most of them have already gone to either friends, family members, and or Miller Elementary, which is closed for the day to accommodate them. Here's what one of them told us.
So I actually had my bedroom window open, and I heard the explosion, but I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something down by Walmart, and then we just saw orange, but I didn't hear any sirens, and we didn't hear sirens for a very long time, and that's what concerned us. And we ran outside and saw just sparks flying up and tried to make sure everybody was okay. It was very, very scary.
So again, guys, I mentioned those FAA investigators. We at least see one of them with that marked jacket right there. That's the gentleman in the blue that's walking back towards the wall that's just outside of this property, climbing to get a vantage point. You can see the debris there, likely from the plane, and then, of course, that electrical pole. So what they're doing, conceivably, is trying to get an idea about that descent, look at it with their own eyes. This is all going to be part of their investigation as to why this crash happened. So there's all of these different parts and moving pieces. You have the actual response to the crash itself, the fires that sparked because of this, the residents who were evacuated who needed a place to go, finding out if anyone was hurt. And then now, by the way, this is a full-on crash investigation scene in which federal investigators are going to be here swarming, combing through, making sure that they find every single piece of evidence that they may be able to use in order to piece together what is going on. I understand, Eric, Netta, we're going to send things back to you now.
Yeah, that plane likely hitting that utility pole before.
Right.